J&J Video Reacts.
What is going on? What is going on? How is everybody? Welcome to the first maiden voyage of the Midday Meltdown. I'm your host, Dawn James of J&J Video Reacts. Yeah, you know what? I decided, why not? I remember the other week we were, and I think, let's see. I think Ramsterdam came on. She was on. We were on our usual time, like 7ish, and she was saying it's like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. So it got me to thinking, why don't I start doing some daytime live streams? And I thought, 12 o'clock. Usually people are having their lunch breaks, right? So why not go on at 12 o'clock and just talk? Just talk. It's whatever. So here I am. And the idea is to start a midday meltdown that goes from about 12 to 1 or 12 to 2, however long, 12 to 2 max, most likely, but to go live at 12. And the idea of this show is to create a platform. And I want to first give a shout out to IC Green, aka Dwight Scrap. I went on one of his last week, and man, that was therapeutic. We ended up getting into a pretty in-depth conversation about some things that went on in my personal life back in the day. And I really got a lot out of it. And I thought, if I could do that for people, then that's what I really feel like I'm here for. That's what my calling is. I actually have been through quite a few experiences in my life that I could probably relate to people on. I'm a cancer survivor. I am LGBTQ, and I did have a stint where I walked the straight and narrow for a while, in the closet, got married, had a kid, everything, even though before that I was so I decided to try the straight life, and it did not work out for me. So what I felt more comfortable with initially anyway. And I actually told the story of that on IC Green's Live. And thank you so much. Shout out to you for allowing me to be vulnerable and providing a platform where people can share their experiences and, sometimes their deepest fears. Thanks for providing that safe space. So I did talk to him offline, and we have come to a decision that we want to maybe try to do a couple live streams together. So I think it'll work out. I'm flying this one solo. I know it's kind of impromptu. You don't know me, I don't know you. And some of the J crew, I don't know if you got notifications of this. I tried to put it out a few minutes early, but if any of you are out there, Ro, Buddha, any of you that are listening, or Jen, anybody that is that has gotten a notification or is listening, what up? I'm a little nervous because this is just basically me being me. This is not a created content stream. This is or stream aiming at 90 Day Fiance, which come to the Tuesday takeover, 7 o'clock right here on this channel is usually our J crew that comes to that. But also I want to give a shout out to my beautiful white vegan knowledge, JJ. She does we are both vegans, and she does a Meatless Monday live stream. And I think that is happening tonight. I'll be on there with her at 8 o'clock tonight. So join us for that. If you've ever thought about becoming vegan or transferring into being a vegan, we've got some great strategies for you that can kind of ease the pain of giving up meat and dairy, which, by the way, is something that you should seriously consider. And I won't get into that on this stream yet. But, those are some of the things that I'm going to talk about, because, I truly believe in helping the carbon footprint. And one of the ways to do that is by going, they destroy a lot of land. They destroy a lot of land to make way for the cattle and things to graze. They take down a lot of rainforests in order to make this happen. And the trees we need to clean the air. So when we put out these emissions and things like that, if we don't have the trees to clean our air, then you have things like global warming. So, it is directly relating to global warming, veganism. So the more people that do that, the better. Not just electric cars gets it done, guys. Stop giving them reasons to graze the cattle on our land. We should stop eating meat, but that's a soapbox for a different day. I just want to say, hey, just wanted to get on here and talk a little bit about me. If there's anyone listening that wants to come in and talk about themselves, that's fine. I welcome all of it. One thing that I do like that IC Green does is he has this thing where he has something called a apple cider vinegar challenge that he, challenges his listeners and his followers to drink apple cider vinegar lemonade, which I am going to try. I'm going to get myself the ingredients and I am going to try that. I, however, do something a little bit different. I call it the Breakfast of Champions. If I have any TikTok people, I have some TikToks over there where I've shown myself creating this morning masterpiece and I drink it down. I actually recorded it, I actually have it here, but because it's in TikTok format, I don't think it's going to bode well on this canvas. I'll put it on anyway so that you can basically get the gist of what I'm talking about. There's two parts to it. There's part one, part two. Part one is me actually making the drink, and part two is me explaining why I drink moringa. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and play those. Please excuse the format. I will try to re-record them in the 1280 by 720p format so that you can see them clearly. But I didn't really have time to do that today. So I'll just play what I have, and then we'll go from there. But before we even get into that. Hey, did you know that you could single-handedly help this channel grow by clicking the like button down here on the left? And if you're not already, go ahead and subscribe here on the right. Share the video with friends and family, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you can get notified when we do new videos or live streams. Thanks! Hit that subscribe button, guys. If you are not subscribed, smash that thing for me, and let's get this up to 1,000 subscribers. Currently, we are on a trajectory for 1,000 subscribers. We're sitting at 579, just a little bit over the halfway mark, and I am so grateful for everyone who has joined the J Crew. Thank you, all 579 of you. I appreciate you. And we are moving towards our first 1,000 subscribers. If you are on TikTok, I'm on there under J&J Video as well. I'm also on Instagram under J&J Video and Twitter. So follow me there, guys. All right, so let's see what's happening with these videos. Let me see what we got here. As you can see, I do have a Matrix background going on because that is absolutely one of my most favorite movies, which is something that you're going to learn about me. I am someone who believes in carving out your own path, walking your own, choosing your own path. And, somebody else who believes in that is Karen and Thomas Everett. That's right. The family Chantel, the parents of 90 Day Fiance alumni Chantel Everett. And we say Chantel Everett, not Chantel Jimeno anymore because of, we ain't going to go into that. But shout out to Karen and Thomas BSR. They have a YouTube channel called Karen and Thomas BSR where they speak a lot about mentally prepared as well as physically prepared for your surroundings, for your environment, for things to come. And it's called BSR, which has two meanings, actually. Bullshit repellent, first and foremost, is really what it boils down to. But belief system reality, which, talks a lot about manifesting what you want, and staying cognizant of things that can, pitfalls that can actually come in your way, and being prepared for them. So shout out to Karen and Thomas for that channel, and go subscribe to them. They're killing it over there. They do Instagram lives, I believe, Monday night at 9 o'clock. So if you want to check out her Instagram, you can catch them live Mondays at 9 o'clock on Instagram. But I'm going to try to play this Moringa video. We're going to see what we get here. Good morning. I'm about to make my breakfast of champions. It is organic moringa powder, but this is what it looks like, and you can get it on Amazon for under $10. I'll put a link in the description. Put it this way. Since I've been taking this, which has been since 2017, I haven't gotten sick. I'm talking not one sniffle, not one sneeze, through COVID, all of that. Not sick once. I'm just saying, you might want to check it out. Okay, so you've got your 2 bottles of water, and you're going to do 2 teaspoons of moringa powder. Now you want to give yourself a little bit of room for the powder. Okay, so here's the deal. I sped this section up because I lost my half a teaspoon little thingy, so this is a quarter. So I had to put 8 of them in. You didn't need to see all that. Shake it up. Make sure it's good and dissolved. The ultimate green juice. Alright, yes, I am downing that in one sitting. And then you want to chase it with a plain bottle of water. Yeah, that's right, the whole thing. Awesome. Every morning, breakfast of champions. Okay, so what Restream did, they tried to like wedge it out so that it fit the screen. I will re-record that, or I will that was funny. I started to turn it off, but I'm like, the message of it. Here is the package that it comes in. I have a little can or jug. I don't like dipping it. You get it all over your hand, so it's easier for me to just, I have a leftover container from like some coffee or something. I just, pour it all in there and just use that to keep it in. But, this is organic moringa powder. And I have literally, and I guess, this first show is going to talk about that a little bit. I named this episode Just Do It, because I know what the hell I was going to talk about. I just wanted to keep it real. I wanted to fly by the seat of my fence, go off the cuff, and just talk about what I talk about. And if I end up getting lucky enough to, or blessed enough to get some people into the live stream to interact, then, we can feed off of each other. But I've been drinking moringa literally for 5 years, I want to say, since the end of 2017. I heard it mentioned because I struggle with legal blindness, among other things, right? Actually, I'm pretty healthy other than that. But legal blindness, and it has basically rendered me disabled for all intents and purposes. I can see, but it's like looking through bright sunlight. If I were to describe it, basically, it's like looking through bright sunlight. You can still see enough to function, but it's like, you know what I mean? The central vision is almost like the sun. So I'm seeing nothing centrally, and the stuff around it has a very bright haze over it. My peripheral vision. So I can see peripherally just fine, but it has a very bright haze over it, almost like protein deposits when you wear contact lenses. It's like, that's what I'm looking through. So I can function, but not enough to see details like I should. So I'm not on the road driving. I can't really work on the computer. So I do a lot of editing, all my editing on my phone. And people who see my videos are pretty astounded by it. Like, you're doing all, you're not using Adobe or anything? Some of that affects you? No. I taught myself how to do it with a few apps. You know, a lot of these apps out here, and shout out to, iMovie, Video Leap, Keynote, a lot of these apps. Great, we're under attack. I think somebody saw me. They were like, yeah, push the button. No, she's on, she's live now, push it. But, you would think that, within 5 years, it would be considered reasonable to at least have a sniffle, a sneeze, maybe have some flu-like symptoms, even with COVID that was going on. But no. One of the things that moringa powder does is it improves immunity. So I love it. I absolutely love it. And I take full advantage of that particular benefit of it, because and my wife takes it as well, has not been sick in over 5 years. Okay, and there's no need to knock on wood. It's foolproof. A couple years in, I would have knocked on wood. 5 years, yeah, this shit works. Excuse my French. So, but you know what? Let me play part 2. It's probably going to be squoze out, but let me play part 2 of that with some of the benefits.
Fuck you lying. Why you always lying?
Oh, wrong one.
Fuck you lying. Why?
TikTok J Crew fam. Okay, so a while back I made a video about organic moringa powder. I basically showed you how I make the breakfast of champions. I drink this every morning and have drank it for the past 5 years. Here is why my wife and I drink moringa. 2 teaspoons faithfully every morning for 5 years. It boosts stamina, antioxidant, lowers cholesterol, controls blood pressure, detoxifies, treats depression. It treats minor infection, improves immunity, improves and stimulates hair growth. It heals wounds, not to mention that it is packed with every nutrient that you can name. I know it has like 4 times the iron of spinach. It has like 3 times the amount of vitamin C as an orange, potassium, magnesium, vitamin C, A, D, you name it. Moringa's got it in there. I'll put a link in the comment section for you. Have a fantastic day. Peace and blessings. Go get some moringa. What is up, TikTok J Crew fam? Finally, here's part 2. Sorry for the delay. Part 2 of organic moringa powder and why. Okay, so a while back I made a video stating. So here is why it has been so beneficial for me to have drank. Here is why my wife and I drink moringa, and why in 5 years, and I can, it treats, sorry, I hadn't saw it now. It treats, okay. I will put a link in the description. Quickly, I put a link in the title section. I'll put a link in the comment section. Whew, finally, got through that one. Yes. I'm a jokester, okay? You cannot take life or yourself too seriously, okay? Because it's too short for that. And I learned that being a cancer survivor. I could have very well not been here right now, which reminds me of one of the things that I wanted to talk about today, which was, for a long time, I was not aware that I suffered from PTSD for that. And, I'm going along thinking everything's fine. Hey, I survived it. I had a operation and had a couple months worth of chemo, and I'm good. Haven't looked back since, which is another story for another day. I don't go to hospitals. All about keeping this right. And that tends to take you down a rabbit hole. You die quicker, but we'll get to that. But PTSD is not a joke. I know that people who, veterans suffer with it a lot, but also people who have survived terminal diseases, and it's exactly what it is, a post-traumatic stress syndrome. Post-traumatic stress, meaning something traumatic has happened to you in your life, and in the aftermath of that, you're still dealing with the fear of maybe that happening again. So anybody who has PTSD, this is a good live stream for you to be a part of, or at least catch on the replay game. So I realized that the innate fear of death that we all have, I suffered with it a little bit more after I survived the cancer. Now, you would think that, okay, well, you made it. You're here. Everything's good. You know, you got some more time. Be happy. And I was, or so I thought. And I started going into these depressions, you know, and it was so strange because, you know, any little thing that happened, it would stir up a fear that I was dying. And make no mistake, we are living and dying at the same time. Okay. Because I have come to terms with it. I've faced my fears with it. And it was a long road, probably a good 10, 12 years. And technically I am a 20-year survivor. And the first few years I was fine, but just within the past 10 or so, yeah, it's been bad. But I've moved through that. I would say probably since right around the time that I started drinking the moringa, probably for the past 4 or 5 years, I've been on a trajectory that has been, I feel, back to more like my normal self. But that was a road to hoe. That was a road to hoe. Any little thing that happened that might have been a normal thing for someone my age to have happened, and I am 54. So, and I usually get a lot of comments. Oh, you look young, you know, and I'm like, yeah, I feel young, you know. I work out, drink moringa. It helps with anti-aging. But thinking young is huge for that. And thought process in itself is huge. Those of you that are familiar with the movie The Matrix, I tell you what, I had to dig back into that bag and remember that I am Neo. We are all Neo. And nothing happens that we don't allow to happen. And the fear of something is worse than the thing itself, you know. I listen to Eckhart Tolle a lot, The Power of Now. And let me tell you how I listen to it, because I've listened to it on an audiobook throughout the day before. And your conscious mind blocks a lot. It's a gatekeeper. It filters a lot. Hold on 1 second. Sorry about that, folks. I am freezing. Had to get a little bit of heat on. A little while ago, that would have been AC. Don't forget to drink a gallon of water a day. Helps keep all the bad stuff away. But, I watched The Matrix. That is one of my favorite movies because Neo refuses to accept any and everything that is just handed to him. He said he didn't believe in fate. He believed in having control of your life. Well, having control of your life means having control of your thinking. And controlling your thinking is huge. And not everybody can do it. But if you don't do it, you are just going to be led around, like somebody by their ear, It helps when you learn that you do have control of your mind. And PTSD starts to take a back seat to that when you really get into your power of controlling your mind. One of the ways to do that is to stay in the now, which Eckhart Tolle preaches. When I think back to The Matrix, there's a scene. Remember the end where Neo gets shot and killed by Agent Smith? Well, if you think back earlier in the movie, Neo was talking to Morpheus, and Morpheus they were training. And Neo asked Morpheus a question. He said, well, because he noticed that he was bleeding, and that was from the fight that they had. And he said, well, wait a minute. If you get killed in the Matrix, you die here. And Morpheus said, well, the body can't live without the mind. But Neo, being the hacker that he was, because I believe in mind hacks, didn't take that in like the normal, quote unquote, whatever normal is, normal person would. He took that in as a hacker would. Like, okay, there's a loophole, there's a back door, there's a way around that. And I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to hack that particular thing, which he did. He understood something in that moment that even Morpheus didn't understand. You are not your mind. And T. Harv Eker preaches that. Every motivational speaker preaches that. You are not your mind. You and your mind are two separate entities altogether. And a lot of times we get caught up in the things that are going on in our mind, and it prevents us from being who we are in that moment as true human beings. Whatever your reaction to something is usually based off of past programming. And when Neo got shot Smith, he initially died. He bought in. He died. He fell to the ground. But Neo the hacker realized, save just a little bit of that. Because don't forget, the Matrix isn't real. You're here and your mind is there. You are not your mind. Morpheus didn't even understand this. Body can't live without the mind. Yeah, actually it can, but that's a whole other thing. Try to make sure I explain this right. What do we got over there? I'm going to pull up my channel so that I can, with me being legally blind, it's a lot easier for me to just look at it on the phone. Hey, this stream is for you. You told me that you're up 2, 3 in the morning. I said, I'm going to start doing some day streams from Amsterdam. I don't know if you heard me say that when I first came on. Shout out to Amsterdam. Our brain is a complex organ. Yes. We have one thing other than animals. Facts. We know life has a beginning and an end. And our brain keeps us from going insane, right? With that thought, we are always looking for a way out. Love it. Absolutely love it. And yes, we are. And here's the thing that I learned with the PTSD. When Neo, he saved his mind. He realized that he was not his mind. His real, who he was in the now, in other words, was back at the ship. His mind wasn't there. It was stuck in the Matrix. He, though, was back at the ship. So he remembered whatever happens in the Matrix is not real. He understood that. Whatever we believe and think and see around us, honestly, is not real. The real is the essence that's inside. Even your body's not real, Ram. Because eventually it's going to dissipate and fall away. What's left is the essence of you, the thing that made you you. And Neo understood that. So he realized he's back in the ship. And he actually heard Trinity say, get up. Well, then all of a sudden he gets up in the Matrix, and then the agents are flabbergasted because he understood something. He understood that who he was as a person had nothing to do with what his mind was telling him in that moment. So you got to learn the brain is there and our minds are there to help guide us, but they can also be our worst enemy. They can be our worst enemy if we just let them go off of everything that we take in from media manipulation, things that have happened to us like cancer that we're scared of. Oh my God, it's going to happen again. 9 times out of 10, they say it's happening again. They say, who are they? They aren't you right now in this moment. So if you go off of what has happened to other people or even yourself in the past, that's not helping you now. Now is new. Now is new. You only have one now, okay? And that exists in this moment. Yesterday's gone. All those nows are gone. All the nows that happened before are what is the product of now. Now is the product of what you're doing now is creating your future. So now is the only thing that is absolutely real. And in that moment, Neo stood up, realizing that he was not his mind, and he defeated the agents. And not only did he defeat the agents, he understood, wait a minute, I am in control of this thing. So with that being said, I can do whatever the hell I want to do. Whatever I really want, I can have it. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to defeat these agents. Bullets coming at me? Nah, these bullets aren't real. This is the Matrix, remember? So we're going to put our hand up and we're going to stop that negativity coming our way. It's not going to enter. We're going to put our hands up from that thought that's coming my way because I just watched something traumatic on TV or something just happened to me. And we're going to stop that negativity just like you stopped the bullets. You can do that. I learned how to do that within these past 5 years. Stop those bullets from coming at me. And a lot of times it wasn't something that was coming from the outside. It was my own what? Mind. It was my own mind shooting those bullets at me. I had to learn how do you block bullets from the inside out? That's when you're on some good shit. That's when you're on some good shit because it's very easy to run away from something or someone, but you can't run away from yourself. Ram said, I once was at a Buddhist temple retreat, and they also have your mind is a whole other entity. Yeah. And the way you can make your mind work, the way you can make your mind work for you. Because so many times, because it's a defense mechanism designed to protect us, it can actually affect us in an adverse way because it's always looking for the negative. And it's almost like, okay, being a cancer survivor, I can kind of firsthand tell you about chemo. When you're getting chemotherapy, what is the goal of chemotherapy? To kill the cancer, right? But it's also killing you in the process. When your mind gives you negative scenarios to run through, it's not happening as a training exercise, even though that's what it's supposed to do. It's just supposed to have you prepare for those moments just in case they happen. But if you constantly focus on what might happen, you get negative. You feed into it. The chemo begins to kill your body at that point. Chemo kills the cancer. It kills your body at the same time. But if you get enough of it to kill the cancer and then are able to repair from that, then the chemo doesn't kill you. The thoughts are the same way. That constant negativity kills, and it also kills your body. Negative frequencies that you allow your mind to take in degrades and kills the body even faster than it normally is dying. So it's very important that you learn how to control when your mind goes off on a tangent like that. And one of the ways to do it is to stay in the moment, because in that exact moment, there's nothing that's happening to you other than your heart's beating, you're breathing air, your organs are functioning. Get out of your head. Because when you let thoughts permeate your head and filter through into your actions, then you're being led by all of that negativity. Unless you learn how to replace the negativity. You can get rid of it, but you got to replace it with something, or otherwise it's just going to come right back. Okay? One way to get rid of it and have it stay away is to face whatever it is that negative thought is telling you that you're fearing. You got to face your fears in order to get rid of them. Shout out to my beautiful wife, JJ Vegan Knowledge. Ram said, hey, JJ. Hey, Ram, I'm working. Right. Yep, she's over there at work. Thank you for checking in, honey. But now I'm going to give you a cheat code. Let me give you a cheat code. How do you filter out the bad and have more good in there? I touched on something a little while ago. I said that your mind, your conscious mind, is a gatekeeper. What it's gatekeeping is your subconscious mind, which actually is what controls everything. Okay? Once it gets to the subconscious, it's in there, baby. And unless you learn how to basically gut out and clean out your subconscious mind, everything that your mind takes in, that your subconscious mind buys into, it's going to stick. And that is going to be your blueprint that you're going to live off of. Something happens, you're going to go to your subconscious mind blueprint and react off it based off of what you've learned and what you've done before. How do I change that? To do things differently. Okay, so here's what I did. When I realized that I had PTSD, I started doing something that was very key and instrumental in changing my attitude about myself, changed my inner world. I started listening to sleep meditations. And I can leave a link to the first one that I started listening to, which is called Dauchsy Meditations. And he's on YouTube. And I'll leave a link in this, Ram. When I'm done, I'll go ahead and leave the link. But I started putting Dauchsy on in my sleep. I put a headset on or my little AirPods. And I do this every night, faithfully. Because I noticed that if I skip a night or a week or two, just goes right back to being, something negative can seep in there a lot easier. So I noticed that for me, being a Cancer, it's a daily thing. And there's nothing wrong with that because what am I doing? Nothing. I'm sleeping, right? It's not like I'm lifting heavy boxes or something. Just put a headset on and listen. But what I was listening to was somebody explained to me that anything I wanted to have in life, I could have. I forgot that. That the worst thing that we fear is death, the ultimate. But that it's going to happen regardless of whether you fear it or not. Right? So why would you spend your life being scared shitless of something that's inevitable? Right? It's like going to the bathroom. It's something that's inevitable. You're not scared to go take a dump. So you've got to learn to accept death as something that is part of the life cycle, and it is going to happen to us all. But death of the body and body only. Okay, because there is an essence. Okay, so check this out. See this here? Cell phone? Ram, where are you? What country are you in? Okay, you're in the Netherlands. All right. I'm typing to you on this phone. I didn't type something and throw it to the Netherlands so that you could read it. That's impossible. But it's not touching anything. It's not connected to anything. How am I reaching you on this phone? I am nowhere near you. How is this phone able to communicate with you when it's not attached to anything? Now, we're not scientists, okay? And we're not tech heads, so we don't know that. But they do. And they know that ether is real. When you die, you become a part of that. Frequencies are real. That's how these phones work. Okay? Ether, the stuff that's in the air is real. And that's what you go back to when you die. Okay, so Prince, for example. I was not the hugest Prince fan when he died. Okay, and I'm going to tell you a little freaky story, and you're going to think I'm crazy, but all of a sudden, when Jen looked at me and she said, "Oh my God, Dawn," I said, "What?" She said, "Prince." And I said, "Prince what?" "Prince what?" And she just kind of looked at me. I'm like, "No, really?" And the weird thing is, all of a sudden, I started getting the urge to start looking more into who Prince was. And I found out he was a wonderful musician and an amazing philanthropist, whole side. But I became this huge Prince fan. And Prince wasn't even alive. But the essence of Prince, his thoughts, his music, what made him him, his je ne sais quoi, attracted me. But his body was no longer here. So is he dead or is he not? Because how did I become a Prince fan after he died? He wasn't even here to create that. But he left so much in this world that represented who he was, that death to him doesn't exist like it exists for some people. And for everybody, really. Those that you touch and affect, you will always be here. But make no mistake, he is part of the ether. Okay, he is part of the ether. Every day I get these tingly feelings that, okay, yeah, maybe I should play some music or something. You know what I mean? Maybe I should get on my drums and practice. What do you think that is? That's the essence. Okay? That's the essence. I think about my grandmother. Love you, Grandma. Who I lost back in 2004. And things that I do now with saving money and stuff like that. And I can hear her voice saying, "Save your money, blah, 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 blah." I'm not just hearing her voice. Her essence is working on me. It's communicating with me. Now, am I standing there talking to thin air? No, I'm not. If I was, most people would look at me and say I'm crazy. But honestly, I'm doing something that's not crazy because her essence is a part of my life and it is real, which means she still exists. Just because her body isn't here doesn't mean she exists. That's how this works. She is still here. When we say, "Oh, he's looking down on you," you're not bullshitting. No. Does he have eyes? No, he doesn't. But he's still here. She's still here. So will you be. You'll just be part of that ether. That's what we started out as, and that's what we go back to. Ramsterdam. Yup, you feel me, right? As long as people, let me back it up. As long as we think of people, yes, they are here. That's right. I always talk to my dad. I do too. My mom, yep, I lost my parents as well. They're still here. Thank you. You get it. You get it. You know, you're one of us. You're one of us. A lot of people don't understand that shift in energy. That energy, just because the body falls away, doesn't go anywhere. In fact, it's even stronger because now it's omnipresent. Okay, it can be in multiple places at one time. It can be everywhere at once, which is an ability that we as human beings in this finite body cannot do. We can, because our essence can travel through this body and communicate. That's where you get telepathy from. That's why, okay, my daughter will call me because I'm thinking about her so freaking hard. Jen and I, there'll be something that I'll say, or we'll be in the same room and we'll make the same joke or same weird giggly noise at the same time and look at each other like, what just happened? That's because we have been together for 14 years. We're this close. We have literally, and I mean literally, been joined at the hip for 14 years. We have not left each other's side. Some say that's not healthy. To us, it is. That's who we are. That's how our relationship works. Okay? We have not been in separate states. We've not been in separate towns in 14 years since we initially hooked up. And that's because I found my person. I was blessed. But we do that. And that's because this is not where it's at. It's the essence. It's the cognitive ability. Okay? It's the energy. And we feel each other's energy. Ram, I'm so glad you understand that and you're not, thinking this is some mumbo jumbo. I love talking to people who share similar beliefs because it is true. It's reality. And a lot of people don't know how to accept that. So in saying that, I touched on Dauchsy. One of the ways I learned to control my thinking was I said, you know what? I got to dig deep and go into the subconscious in order to change my behavior and change my thought patterns throughout the day so that I'm not living in this fear of death. So first off, like Eckhart Tolle says, you need to accept it. And accepting it in the way that I have helps me to deal with it. So I'll go work out and sometimes I'll be going on my bike. And if I feel my heart jump, a fear will jump in there because I have a heart murmur. Oh my God, you're 54. Do you realize you could drop dead on this treadmill right now? Just like Isaac Hayes did. And immediately I start getting a tense feeling. And my brain, like a placebo, buys in. Wow, wait a minute, hold up. Is something happening? Is my arm going numb? And all of a sudden the fear is there. And I'm like, oh my God, what's going to happen if I do die? And Jen, oh my God, what's going to happen? She's going to run out here. And I picture the whole scene, the calling of the ambulance, me trying to catch my breath and get scared shitless. It's paralyzing. I was tired of it. I said, something's got to change, man. And, you would think the older that you get, it would get even worse. It actually gets better because you start realizing more and more there's nothing you can freaking do about it. So why have those moments instead of enjoying the workout in the moment and really getting the adrenaline and realize, hey, I'm able to still do this. This is awesome. You know what I mean? Oh, heart jumped. Okay, yeah. Well, hey, yeah, I'm 54. I'm working my heart. So yeah, it's going to jump. It's going to adjust. That does not mean you are dropping dead. But if I do, number one, after that, it's all over. There's nothing to worry about because I'm not going to be hurting. Okay? Because I'm not even going to be here. It's not like I'm going to sit there and see myself dead and experience death in that way. Like, I can't talk to you. That's not going to happen. I'm going to be gone. But thinking about the sadness and grief that goes on around us, that's what makes us sad. That's what brings it down. But, if you think about it in a way that, okay, if it happens, then, hey, guess what? Unfortunately, it just is what it is. It's only good or bad based on my perception of it. Oh, okay. You know what? Then that means I'm just going to transfer into ether. And unfortunately, for those that I love, my body will no longer be here for them to interact with, but I will still be here. My essence will still be here. My ideas, my feelings, my thoughts, things that I thought about that Jen knows me very well. Dawn would say this. Well, if you get that feeling, that means Dawn is saying that to you right now through the ether. if you get that. So yeah, I'll die, but I won't go away. Prince said that. Okay. So that, I'm like, wow, okay. Okay, well, so be it. And I was able to accept my death in that moment and keep on riding that freaking bike. And I had one of the best workouts in my life. Every time, if that happens, that I accept it and move on. Okay, well, then that means I become part of that ether that I talk about. Sucks. It sucks, but there it is. And all of a sudden I get okay. I come off the fear. The fear says, shit, damn it, I had her. I had her going down that rabbit hole, but she's gone. We lost her. Now she's good. She feels good. She's riding the bike even harder. Now we lost her. Yeah, let's go find somebody else to mess with. And the fear leaves you. And then you go on and you have a good workout. And you go on and you do whatever it is you want to do. You drink that thing. You go ahead and you walk down that alleyway. You don't live in that fear. It doesn't debilitate you. That takes away from your quality of life. The cancer didn't take me, so I'll be damned if the rest of my life I'm going to sit there being scared of it coming back. It's kept me clear for 20 years because I don't give it power. I don't sit there focusing on the fear. If it comes back, so freaking what? And because I feel that way, it doesn't come. It's the fear of the thing that makes it fly towards you like a magnet. I know that firsthand. I did it. I saw my aunt die of colon cancer. And when I was 17, well, lo and behold, 17 years later, guess what came for me? Because in the back of my mind, I manifested that shit. Colon cancer. The doctor was telling me, no, that's not what's happening. You're too young for that. I told him, no, you're wrong. That's what it is. Well, sorry about this. Yeah. Okay, so after they did the operation and got it out, the doctor said, I'm going to have a conversation with you. He's like, I don't know how you knew that, but you were right. Well, you don't know how I knew it. Okay, we innately know a whole lot that we don't realize we know. And who knows, my aunt could have been telling me. She could have been communicating with me. But I just knew. And I knew somewhere inside I probably manifested. Even though the secret hadn't come out then and I wasn't, let's say, into the law of attraction at that point. I was 17. I was 34 at that time. But I realize now in retrospect, after studying and learning and being into the law of attraction, that that's what I did. So I've learned now, don't do that shit. Yeah. When I have a thought like that, I know, okay, you know what? Let's go ahead and change this frequency. And if it keeps reoccurring, I go ahead and face it, eliminate the fear from it, and then throw on some Dauchsy meditations while I'm sleeping so that at night I'm hearing, hey, the body heals itself. Remember that the body heals itself. There's a section, there's one called Heal. He's got a few healing ones. And I have literally got that committed to memory so that even in my waking life, I can say in my mind, I am now healing. My body was born to heal itself. I will just recite that, if I hurt myself. And in my mind, I played that so much that my subconscious mind re-grasped that concept. So throughout the day, I don't have those fears anymore because in the back of my mind, now that my subconscious mind is on board, it knows to tell my mind, stop the bullshit, stop the cap. Your body's meant to heal itself. You're fine. And then, hey, if something happens in that moment, because you don't need to be focusing on what if and what has happened in the moment. If that happens, then you'll handle it then. I tell Jen this all the time. Why waste time projecting? Be in the moment, because trust you me, you are stronger than you think. In those moments when things happen, your mind has so much going on that it can handle it. So handle it then. Let it happen in that moment. Don't sit there and why would you deal with something if it ain't happening in that moment? Why would you? Stop imagining. Use your imagination for good stuff like creating music, creating art, creating poetry. Don't use it to make yourself scared, because who wants to live like that? I don't, not anymore, so I don't. And it's that simple for a lot of people, not everybody. But if you don't try it, you don't know. Throw something on while you're sleeping. Listen to The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. And listen to it for 30 days straight, because it takes that long to create that thought process change and create a habit of thinking that way. 30 days to create a habit. So if you listen to it for 30 days in your sleep, trust and believe you won't have to work to think that way anymore. It'll just be natural again. Ram said, yes, fear is tiresome. Yes, it is. They asked a group of 90-year-olds, wow, 90-year-old Americans, what they regret the most and what they spend energy on in their life. And they said worrying. Yep. Vegan Knowledge JJ said, wow, Ram. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah. They regretted worrying. Even though they made it to 90, that's pretty cool. They regretted worrying because they realized what? It had no purpose other than dragging your ass down. Okay? Worrying and fear is useless because it doesn't change anything. Like I said earlier, you're going to die whether you're scared of it or not. So, okay, got a good example for you. If I got two hands here, right? And I have some luscious fruit. I'm going to make it vegan, right? I have some luscious fruit. And I have a pile of shit. And you know where I'm going with this. And I'm going to ask you, which one of these, you have to eat something, okay? You have to survive. Your body has to live off of something. You have to eat. It's inevitable, okay? So you have to eat. Here's two things. You can either eat this shit, luscious fruit. What are you going to do? You can live in fear because it's inevitable about death, or you can live life and focus on the moment that you're in and not focus on what might happen, when it's going to happen, how it's going to happen, and just live and watch a great movie and laugh, eat a piece of fruit and experience the wonderful taste of it, get in a hot shower and feel so refreshed. All these things you're doing in the moment. You're not focusing on what happens if I die in this moment. You're focused on what you're doing in that moment. The smell of the lilacs, the smell of the lavender. You know, getting a hug from your wife and actually feeling the love and projecting the love back over. Not, oh my God, what if I lose her in the next 5 minutes? No, you're enjoying the love that you're getting in that moment. That's really what's happening in that moment. But because you allow your mind to go other places and not actually in the moment, you start thinking about other crap. Be in that moment. Get that hug. Enjoy the hug. Because when it is gone, you'll deal with it then. Not now, because it's not happening now. Stop dealing with shit that ain't happening. Okay? Enjoy what you have now. So, yeah. I got a little soapbox there. So that's the message of today. I named it Just Do It. But that was a message to me to stop putting this off, stop putting this live stream off. Ram, do me a favor, share this with some people. I'm going to be here every day from 12 noon. Okay? I've got a window from 12 to 2 that I've blocked out that I'm going to do. So if it goes into 2 o'clock, so be it. You know? But I feel good about what we talked about. So I'm going to pretty much end it there because I got to get a workout in. I procrastinated and I said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and put off my workout and I'm going to go ahead and do this because I committed to myself in my mind that I was going to do this Monday through Friday, 12 midday meltdown. Every day I'll be on here at 12, Monday through Friday. So anything you want to talk about tomorrow, let me know. You know, come on and we'll talk, you know, and tell some people to come join us, you know. But anyway, thank you for joining. I appreciate you so much. And thank you for subscribing, you know. And Jen, thank you. I know you're over there hard at work, sweetie. So thank you for being here. I appreciate you. All right. And you guys have a wonderful day. And just do it. Don't be scared.